Hello, everyone. Welcome to Investing with the Difference live show. So this is a long time. I think we have not done any live shows. So today, I hope a lot of people can join and they can participate in our question and answer session. So I think a few videos back, we had highlighted our website. So again, as I said, this is not very well kept till now. We have just started it. And I would like to thank one of our Investing with the Difference community member, Neo, who has been helping develop this. So it's a still work in progress, and I just wanted to thank Neo on this show while he's continuously working with us to help improve the site. And we hope that soon it will be ready to interact more, and we'll add more and more details on this. So coming back to our Investing with the Difference YouTube channel, which I think most of you are interacting with right now. So thanks again. I think we have not been very frequent on this, but still we have a pretty good subscriber base, and we are happy that people are still engaged, learning about EOS. They are not really disappointed with all the bad price action. So again, I think it is important that we focus on learning about what's going on. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with either Bitcoin as a crypto market or EOS. Of course, I'm not spending a lot of time on other projects, so I cannot comment on that. What I can tell you is that these are the two focus areas for me, Bitcoin and EOS. And I would say that I have no issues, even though the market is struggling. So let's quickly jump into the Bitcoin price. Again, I think a few days back when we did the video, I had talked about this particular area around 6,000. And I said that this is a big accumulation zone. And I think a lot of people have been buying, and I have recommended people to start buying here. Till now, it is sustaining here. It's not dropping from here, while a lot of analysts, a lot of people have been talking about $4,000, $5,000 mark. I'm not convinced that we are going down that fast, because there is, first of all, there is hardly any uh, like euphoria which was there earlier. Right now we had a big fall. We are kind of oversold. We did see some big buying in last couple of days. If you see this green candle is pretty huge. We had a pretty nice jump yesterday up to $6,600. Of course, we are still in bear market. I don't think we have gone down. We have gone above 6,800. That is something which I'm not still happy unless we cross this area. This was the line I had drawn, which was a breakdown point, and we did trade it. And right here, I'm accumulating, doing some small trades, but I think right now it's more of a accumulation area. Uh, One thing I've been talking about on Facebook page, as well as other areas where we are interacting with a lot of investors, I would say that be ready for any other fall. Like, for example, like people are like saying that, oh, this is the bottom, just go and buy all you can. I'm not of that opinion. I always say that yes, you should accumulate, but you should always be prepared. As an investor, you should be prepared if it goes down to 5,000 or it goes down to 4,000. But what matters is you should have a plan. Again, as I said, a lot of people were really euphoric when we started going up, and we said, oh, there's going to be 20,000 again. I was very skeptical there till we really form a better bottom formation where we have more consolidation. And as if you remember, I was drawing this. I have deleted it now because it's not relevant anymore. But I was expecting some fall before we go up, and this is where you need to have a plan. If it goes too fast, you should definitely do some profit taking and wait, and always prepare what's going to happen if you're trading. But if you're a long-term holder, I think you should not worry. So there are some interesting things which are happening in the news. So one thing is, it's a pretty good, very, very interesting comment made by Pantera Capital CEO. If Bitcoin is rat poison, the banks are the rats. So this is something which we need to understand. A lot of people are like the big banks, the investment banks are currently investing in Bitcoin. They are creating custody services. They are really promoting it. There is nothing fundamentally wrong with Bitcoin. And people who are talking about, oh, this is bad for the system or so on. Those, for example, Warren Buffett, this is what he's referring to. He had called Bitcoin as a rat poison. And this is something which kind of, I was a fan of Warren Buffett. I really liked him, but this was not a smart statement because I don't think he understood Bitcoin. And he has been wrong previously because if you remember, he took a position in Apple so late. He never played technology. He said he doesn't understand it. And this is the same thing. Bitcoin is a technology which is too new for people like Warren Buffett, and that's what they are not able to understand it and claiming it's to be red poison. But anyway, it's a great statement from Pantera that this is the banks are really going after it. So you need to understand that they are going to get killed. The banks are going to get killed with the Bitcoin, but you remember most of the banks are really investing into it, so they know that they are getting killed very soon if they don't take action. So this is an interesting statement. Then there are some other news flowing. I think a lot of money flowing into crypto markets. It was interesting to see there's a new crypto dealer like SFox. What they do is they are actually creating some kind of a off the exchange kind of trading where you can make big transactions without impacting the price. So these are mostly, as you know, there are a lot of OTC counter traders nowadays developing because big buying is happening by hedge funds, by big billionaires. And this S-Folks is creating a platform for crypto trading for these kind of OTC markets. And they are attracting a lot of funds. So they have actually attracted $22.7 million in their Series A. So this is another sign that a lot of big money is flowing into cryptos, even though people talk about, oh, this is the end and Bitcoin is going to zero. So I'm not too convinced that nothing is happening. It's more of a technical correction. We had seen the extremes when we went to 20K, and that is what is happening. Now, what is happening while all this is going on? So let me open up quickly our coin market cap. And what I can tell you is that a lot of other coins are going to zero for sure. So if you see a lot of bad coins, which have, like, if we still have EOS at number 5, I think Stellar took some. Stellar and EOS are right now fighting for number 5 because at some point Stellar had gone above. But overall, if you see the good quality coins are still, and the coins, even if they're not good quality, if they have a lot of money backing them, they are still on top. They're not losing the position, but a lot of others are going down. For example, so I was not actually, at one point I thought that Tron can really make a difference with the way they were implementing depots and so on, but they have gone down. IOTA has gone down. A lot of others which were in top 10 are not doing very well. And this is something which is going to happen in this market, because if we have some coins which are not able to maintain the same amount of activity in the same amount, like in the bear market, you will see these coins going down. So that is what is happening. And the good news is that even though relatively EOS has done worse than Bitcoin and overall market, but that is the case for all the altcoins, but still it is able to maintain position 5 because of the quality of the project and so on. So that's what I would like to highlight. Especially the Ethereum is underperforming. That's one thing which we are seeing, and that's, I had highlighted before, the Bitcoin dominance is continuously going up. And why it is going up? Of course, the altcoins are falling, but also the Ethereum is falling because this is the number 2 market cap, and it was a huge market cap. It was at one point, when we reviewed a few, even during the bear market, it was at one point around 70 to 80 billion dollars. And at that time, Bitcoin was almost maybe another 30-40% higher. So this is really losing very fast. And that is what my concern is, because Ethereum was the leader in altcoin market, and it is struggling because Ethereum is not able to scale. And that is where I think EOS is going to be really have a huge potential here, where it can really start taking its position and it can start demonstrating that. So somebody just put a question, Lisk. I'm not really following it. I think it is just jumping above, but it has really gone down. If you remember, Lisk was much higher in market cap at one point. It has crashed a lot. And I don't know if specifically what is really going on with Lisk. So I'm sorry for that, but I would say you should just see what is bubbling up in a bear market. When institutional funding is coming, you need to look at the top coins, and whether they are the quality, it all depends upon what is really happening. Depends on, like, if this top 5 or 10 coins, they will keep moving up and down, and the coins which are attracting more money, with more smart money, they will automatically come up. And this is usually in a bear market, smart money is always buying. People who are sentimental, who are not really understanding the basics and fundamentals, they sell at the bottom, and all the smart money comes in around that time. And that's what is happening right now. If you see, a lot of money is going into Bitcoin because that is a store of value. And I'm pretty convinced that there is Bitcoin is Bitcoin. There's nobody replacing it. Either it's Bitcoin Cash or anybody. Litecoin, I never believed in it. It's continuously going down, and I think people should focus on Bitcoin if you're looking for a basic digital gold. And in terms of platform projects, I think if you see in the top, there is hardly anything other than EOS and Ethereum right now. Cardano, again, is a potential project, but I think EOS is something which is keeping its position, and we need to focus on that. All right, guys, so let's enough of the market discussion. Let's go to what is happening in EOS world. So that's why we are here. So one thing which caught my attention was a pretty nice post. So I think a lot of people have been asking about hardware wallets, and Liquid EOS has posted this a few days back that there's a hardware wallet you can do yourself. Of course, first let me remind you, this is for very, very nerdy people who know how to handle hardware, who can build their own stuff. So 99.9% of people will not be able to use it. Why I'm highlighting this is that it is a proof of concept, which is using the standard available open source components. Anybody can make this, and there's an opportunity for a lot of people who are good with hardware to create this product, productize it, and sell it to EOS holders. So this is what I would say, that if you have experience building hardware, please have a look at this. And this is a pretty nice guide. They're using a Raspberry Pi, which is open source hardware, which is pretty cheap. You can make it a very, very low cost hardware wallet. And they are claiming that they can make it for $35, I think that's what they're saying. Anyway, this is the Raspberry Pi, the basic hardware which they're using. But in general, I think it's a great progress. I'm expecting very soon more and more hardware wallets to come out. And this is pretty good progress, which I got really excited about. But in general, this is still a very basic wallet, I think. I don't think it can do staking and staking. I would need to look into it more details. But what I understand is that at least it gives you something which is very safe to store if you're not comfortable with the web wallet. So let me explain you. So right now we are using all gray mass. I've not heard a single person who has lost his tokens on gray mass. So while everybody's waiting for these hardware wallets, which of course I agree that's the safest way. I'm not suggesting that this will be used by many people, but what I'm saying is you need to understand that security is all about how much you understand it. And this is right now, irrespective of a hardware wallet, you need to use a PC-based wallet, because right now your key is not in a hardware, it is with you. You have saved it somewhere, and that can be replicated anyway. Even if you use Greymass or you don't use Greymass, it doesn't matter. Your keys are somewhere stored, and that is the thing you need to keep safe. Whenever there's a hardware wallet which comes out, you will have to transfer your tokens to this wallet, because the idea of hardware wallet is you will never expose your keys to any other storage medium. Only this wallet will contain your keys. So this is one thing which many people don't understand. So people are talking about, oh, I will unlock my tokens only when hardware wallet comes. But remember, even now, you're keeping your keys somewhere, either in a USB key or in your PC. So that is still need to be protected. So that is the same thing. So if using Greymass is not going to hurt you if your PC is safe. So that's one thing I wanted to highlight. So, but anyway, I think overall it's a great progress. Let's have a quick look at EOS in a BTC terms. So as I said before, I think EOS is not doing very good relatively, because all the altcoins are suffering. And I think this is one thing which is troubling me, that a lot of money is flowing into Bitcoin, but we still don't have much flows attracted toward EOS. And I would say that this is because of a lack of something good in terms of the DApps. We are still slow in how it is moving ahead. And I would love to see some more apps coming on. And one tweet which I looked at from Liquid EOS is there are many apps which are moving, and we covered a couple of them previously. We talked about EOS Bet Casino at one point. We talked about Tixico in my previous videos, Medipedia again. So these are some of the things which we need. More and more projects need to move to EOS to really attract more and more people and more funds. And there's a lot of, again, I think there's some concerns people have about the worker proposal funds, about the EOS alliance forming. So we can discuss that. I think I'm still uh, trying to figure out where the community is heading. And I would love to hear from this group of people what people think about it. But I think overall, there's a lot of FUD around. And one of them is that it's very expensive to move to EOS, and it's very, very like, it's EOS is not cheap. Now let me clear that. So let me go back and explain you. So one of the things I talked about, I think, in on our Telegram channel, was that EOS right now is expensive because you're looking at current number of transactions per second, which is maybe 3,000, 3,700. We're talking about as a peak throughput. But you need to understand that EOS is going to scale to much, much higher, maybe hundreds of thousands of transactions, maybe a million transactions per second. And automatically your cost will come down. Right now we are single threaded. Right now we are not even using the capacity which in terms of the CPU capacity which block producers have built. That is because the code is only single threaded, it's still under development. Then we are talking about there's some person, I think, who wrote an article which was forwarded by many people, that if you have to implement Facebook today on EOS, it will be billions of dollars. And even if you want to run one transaction per second, it will be $1 million. So let me put things in perspective. Right now, if you are a Ethereum based project, to run a project on Ethereum, you need to issue a coin. You need to, even to do an airdrop, it costs a lot of money. The second part is you need to have like even a Binance listing, I heard, takes millions of dollars to really make your token tradable. Now, $1 million is not huge. When you say that you can, today's price, $1 million for one transaction per second kind of application is actually a great thing, because that means that right now, Ethereum cannot even handle one transaction per second for every app. You need to understand that Ethereum is limited at 15 transactions per second. That means only 15 apps can run one transaction per second. Now, you need to really objectively compare what is happening before you make a comment that, oh, it's very expensive to run apps on EOS. So that is one thing I would like to highlight. Second part is that even if $1 million per app, which is using one transaction per second, that is very, very cheap. And if you have a good transaction, if you have a good app, 1 million should not be a big deal to raise, because even the crappiest of the Ethereum projects have raised $40 million or $50 million in ICOs. So if you have a good app, I'm convinced that that is not a problem. Second thing is that if your app becomes successful, I don't think it will become like, you will need that much of money, because you will be running a side chain. You will not be using it the main net. And anyway, EOS will start scaling up very soon. It will by next year, maybe. I'm expecting. My expectation is that EOS should be at least 100,000 transactions per second at some point. So that is going to happen. So anyway, I think please let me know if you have any questions in this regard. Don't worry about all the FUD around EOS is expensive, EOS is not moving ahead in the right direction. Yes, there are some new things happening, which I'm still learning about EOS Alliance and so on. I would let you know where we are going from there. And at this moment, I'm not educated enough about that to comment. So one thing I would like to again come back to is where we need to participate is voting. And I always highlight, I think a lot of people are really helping us vote. Like, we are trying to, there are a lot of proxies coming up, which is great sign. Not only us, I think you see a lot of new vote to change. EOS Titan has created their own proxy. A lot of EOS is now voting through proxies, which is a great sign, and I'm happy about it. We are still leading it in terms of number of people, which is great, and thanks a lot for showing trust in us. And I think we are going to continuously modify our votes. One thing which EOS Authority has done is they have created a tool which is voting decay analysis. It's a great tool. Everybody should put in their account name and check if their votes are getting decayed. And so what we wanted to highlight today, while you're assigning us proxy, while we have been voting very regularly, our vote decay is 0%. But people who have not assigned proxy to us again, because of that, the proxy is decaying. and you need to from as a proxy voter, you need to go and assign us proxy again periodically. So right now it's not a big deal. I think we are losing around 2.66%, around 21,000 EOS worth of vote. So even though we have 823,700 EOS as the weight of our total proxy votes, currently we have lost around 21,636 EOS worth of voting power. And that is something which you can fix it. I hope after this video today, many people will go to their Grimace wallets or whatever wallet they're using and reassign proxy to us. And that way you will get this power back and we will not have this kind of decay. So this is something which I would like to highlight. And I hope that people will understand this. Again, I understand a lot of people who have selected us as proxy, they don't want to go through this process. I think we are not suggesting that you should do it every week, because as you can see, we have not voted for a few days, our vote decay is still 0. For after 1 week, there's a very small amount of decay which happens, but if you keep accumulating the decay over weeks and weeks, then it really becomes big, and that's what is happening here. So please go ahead at least once a month or maybe once in 2 months. Please reassign us up your proxy, and that way you can avoid this decay. So we will keep monitoring this. And again, thanks EOS Authority for creating this such a nice tool. Similarly, just like EOS Authority is creating tools, I think I'm pretty happy with these are the tools we are using. That is the EOS Titan Labs. So they have created a pretty interesting tool, which I really had a look today. So this is a tool to monitor the transfers. So this is like big transfers, like this is 100,000 EOS transfer from one account to another. And you can analyze like who is transferring this kind of tokens. And this gives you some kind of, I think you need to put the account names. So let me keep the Bitfinex. So if we want to analyze the Bitfinex account transfers, you can see that we have this kind of EOS token flow. So money is going for, mostly these are, I think, exchange transfers. And what they're trying to highlight is where big transfers are happening. So if you make it like 10,000 EOS, you will see many more transactions happening. And this can really give you an idea. So these are great tools. I think we need more and more such tools developed by community. And again, we thank these block producers who are doing a lot of work in this direction. So I keep monitoring EOS Titan Labs. I think they have pretty good tools. And as I remember, like EOS Authority is doing great. We are already using the proxy tool from EOS Aloha. So as I mentioned, these are some of the block producers we vote for. And we, at this stage, in early days of EOS, we really want more and more tools to be developed where we can create a better and better understanding of your systems. And that is the most important for visibility and for the health of EOS right now. So that is something which we keep looking at. And thanks again, I think, for people who are sending us feedback on various channels, and we will keep updating our votes as we learn more and more about block producers who are doing great for the EOS community. If you want to look at what block producer we are voting for, you can always click on this link within the EOS Aloha page, and you will see the list of block producers we are voting for. Any other question, let us know. So let me go back now and look at our website. So we have started putting together a lot of resources which are useful. Like if you're a developer, you can go and look at these tutorials which have been put together. There are a lot of community tools, block producer tools, so on. So this is something which we'll keep developing. And I think our goal is to make our website a good resource for people. Right now, I think most important thing, of course, we are sharing most of the information through our videos, and you can always come to our site. If you are not sure about our channel, which is Investing with a Difference, and that's what we are trying to continuously develop. So I think this is all I had in terms of the material prepared. So let me have a quick look at the questions if people have. Inflation should pay for the wallets. Okay, so somebody is talking about, I think, worker proposal discussions about the inflation. So let me clarify. I think a lot of heated debates are happening at various channels on the worker proposals. I think Block.one and Dan Larimer has clarified that they should not have this 4% inflation. I think 5% was always a pretty big amount. I never agreed with 5% inflation being good, unless, of course, we have a lot of EOS being used in real world, where you have there's a demand for EOS. 5% is huge. Second thing is most important problem is the kind of control this like voting. Like if already we are seeing. Okay, let's go back to the who are the block producers who are getting voted. The reason we are right now focusing on voting is because there are a lot of well-funded block producers in the top. They're not. I'm not sure what they're doing. For example, if you look at it, Start EOS, I'm not. I'm still learning what they're doing. The Huobi is an exchange. They're in the top. ZB EOS. I don't know exactly what contribution they are making to the community. Bitfinex, I think they're doing good, but I'm not sure why these big exchanges should control the funds. Like, let's say if you have worker proposal funds and they are voted by the same people who are voting for these block producers, how will you make sure that these funds are not getting just allocated to these big exchanges and big whale supported block producers as compared to really building stuff? Ideally, Greymass should be in top because they build one of the best wallet. So if worker proposal system was supposed to work in the favor of creating tools, then I would have voted Greymass to the top. Why they are not in the top? That is one reason why I'm against 4% inflation for worker proposal. Till you show me that only the block producers who are creating tools or who are working for the basic token holders, they are in the top. I will not vote for worker proposal. I will not agree with assigning any funds based on a voting. So that is something which I would like to highlight. Same thing I would say for many other people, like EOS Asia has been doing very well. I think the My EOS toolkit. Then where is the Generos? See, now these guys, they created a toolkit. They were the first one to come out with a toolkit. Now, why they are not in the top 21? This is another example why I would say that you should not uh, support worker proposal right now, because that means that the voting is not highlighting that the funds, like the people who are developing tools, they are getting funded, and that is not happening for block producers. That will not happen for any new proposals which are coming in, and we need to be very careful here. All right, so people are talking about airdrops. I think we have a lot of people. I think you're talking about Edna, which is again a good project. I agree with you. Horus, people like. So there are no questions. I think some people are just discussing about the projects they like. I agree with you. There's a lot of good projects happening, but they're in early stages, and we need to wait for it on what's really going to happen with some of these projects. Mm, Everypedia, I think I like it in the sense that they need to really promote it better. Right now, I think they're still in early days. They are just moved to the EOS in terms of the blockchain itself. And because market is down, people are not realizing the benefits. As a normal person who is not invested in cryptos, he doesn't see value in earning coins, which are always going down. So I think it will depend. It will take some time, and that's how you will see the benefits. I think that's true for most of the crypto projects where they are rewarding in cryptos. It's not going to be easy for them to promote it in a bear market. When Bitcoin goes to $20,000, when all the coins were up, it was very easy for you to say, "Oh, go and do something and earn cryptos," and they're always going up. So that is the chicken and egg problem. I think if the adoption is behind because people don't normal person is still not convinced that crypto is the right thing, and the same thing is happening because the price are not going up because people are not really jumping on it. So that is what is happening with projects like Everypedia. All right, guys, what are the questions you have? Shouldn't a block producer be more about the hardware they bring to the table to actually produce blocks? I'm not convinced. I think EOS is not a hardware driven. Like block producers have much more than just producing blocks. I agree that they need to be reliable. They need to have a stable system to run to run the economy, to run this EOS tokens. But they are doing a lot of other things. They are maintaining the infrastructure, for example, the RAM, the CPU, and they should be involved in the apps. They should be involved with community to really enable them to provide information, to provide them tools to expand the ecosystem. That's the job of block producers, in my eyes. If they are just running the systems and they're just earning rewards, that is not bad. I would say they're not really doing anything bad for the ecosystem, but they are not contributing. Why not choose those block producers while they're running the blocks? They're also seeding the community. They are creating information. They are creating tools. They are really working towards betterment of the ecosystem. So that's my view. While I agree, the basic function of block producer is to have a good hardware to run the system, and that's what they get rewarded for. So of course, that's their basic job, but anybody can do it. Anybody with enough money, because there's a lot of rewards, even at $4 or 70 cents, wherever EOS is today. It's not a bad reward. If you're a top block producer, you're earning almost $5,000 per day, which is huge for just running a hardware, which is not very expensive. It's not like Bitcoin. You don't need huge hardware setup or very expensive setup to start mining. And that's what is happening with the EOS. So that's my view. I think overall, I would like to vote for block producers who are really helping the ecosystem with tools, information, and so on. What else, guys? So any other questions, please let me know. I think I will be around for another 10 minutes. So I'm glad to be back. As I said, I was on vacation, as well as some of meetings I was having with those community members while I was going around. I will still be traveling again because it's a great thing to meet people while I'm also doing some other stuff. So let me know what you guys want to hear from us. I think we will continuously update. I think I will be more frequent now while I will be traveling more, but I think I will have more time to make sure that the videos are still rolling in. We will keep updating you on what's really happening. So I think a lot of people are kind of right now looking at the market. So that's why we focus a lot on that these days in terms of where we're heading. So one thing is we should always look at, a lot of people are looking at this view of the chart where they are always looking at 5-minute, 30-minute charts, and they get sucked into these kind of big movements while trading. So that's one thing I would like to highlight. Whenever you're not sure, always go back to a 1-day or 1-week chart, and that will really keep you grounded. That will help you understand what's really happening. So while we are seeing a lot of jumping around $6,000 of Bitcoin, let me remind you, we are still in a kind of a downtrend which started around here, and we have to turn around. We need to cross $6,800, and that is also going to help altcoins, because right now I think most of the altcoins are suffering, and EOS is not exception. It is still below $5, which is a pretty great price. I think I said it on the Facebook page that at this price, with the kind of potential EOS has, I would say you will not regret it if you buy it now. And you have to look at the long-term outlook. But at this moment, I think we need to look at what stage Bitcoin dominance, which is 53% now, stabilizes. Because right now, I think all the altcoins are taking a hit, and Bitcoin is the leader in most of the money inflows. And this is what happens when the new money rolls in. When institutional money rolls in, they go with stable coins. They are not into betting into smaller and smaller coins. They will always look at the top 5 or maybe top 10, which are like more adventurous. But I think Bitcoin will attract most of the funds, even just because of its market cap, just because it's the topmost coin, which is the biggest brand. It has been around for the longest time. These are the things which institutional investors look for. And that's why people who are saying that oh, Bitcoin is dead or Bitcoin is not going to survive, remember that it is the biggest brand. It is the face of cryptocurrencies. If you are new, I think you may be already sucked into a lot of other coins. But let me tell you, anybody who's around for a few years into cryptos, they know that what the value of Bitcoin brings in. And that's why you need to never write off Bitcoin. And that's what this bear market is showing everybody with this kind of dominance. I think now Bitcoin is again way above 50% of the market cap, which is kind of reason why this is going to be always the biggest coin. So I don't see any more questions coming. There are some comments about what is happening. Okay, so the people are talking about worker proposal fund. So I think this is always going to be an argument. I don't think a lot of people are going to really agree with me here when I say that worker proposal fund is not useful. I think it's more about it has to be the reward should be by doing a good app. If you're doing, I think it's capitalist economy. If you do a good project, you will automatically get rewarded. That's my view, and that is how it works. So if you do a good app, you will be able to make that app work and attract a lot of more funds, and that's how it will really reward you. Similarly, if you're a block producer who is developing tools, you will get voted in the top if this voting really works. And that's how we should really look at it, and not really look at some funds which are just rewarded for by voting, which can be misused. So people are asking about Black. I think I did cover Black a few videos back. To be frank, we are not sure about the details. The only thing we have seen is that airdrop and details and what they are proposing. I think most of these projects are in very early stage. It takes time to put together and execute these projects. So I'm not sure where they are in terms of that. Then there's another question: are you guys catching ETP bull run? I'm not sure with what ETP here is. Sorry if we missed something here. It would be cool to do a weekly airdrop review on new tokens. Sure, I think we will definitely start focusing more on airdrops. I don't think a lot of airdrops have happened recently, but there are a lot more information coming for the new airdrops. And we are still waiting for the snapshot from the Higher Vibes. I think they are the one who are taking the new snapshot. So we'll definitely update you when we receive that information. Right now, I think the biggest thing which is going to happen is this EOS Alliance announcement. I'm still waiting for more details. I think it's due in a couple of days. And we need to really understand what these guys are thinking and how it will evolve. When are the staking rewards going to happen? Okay, so this is a good question. So as I highlighted, so staking rewards need a change to system contract. Right now, the system contract does not allow this. So if you remember, if you have read about it, or if it's the Rex token which is being suggested, this will be the token which will contain your rewards. And this has to be, there is a big code change which has to go through this kind of a process. Then once that code change happens, the block producers have to vote on it and agree on that. And that usually takes time. So right now it's a very early stage. It was just proposed by Dan Larimer and it is not really implemented yet. So I hope to see it in maybe a month or two, some more progress on it, because I think Dan has been working very actively. But I don't expect it to start rewarding you very soon, maybe another 2 to 3 months at least, or maybe by end of the year. That's my best guess. Of course, nobody knows how much time it takes. Then there is some comments about block producers. So I see that some of the blocks were randomly. I think people are talking about how it can be, the system can be changed. So I would say that we should not focus on changing the system until we know that this is not working. So right now we have a great working system. Yes, people are commenting about the expenses, which it's expensive. I already commented on it earlier in the video. I don't think it's expensive, or it's not going to be expensive in future. The second part is that we should not start changing everything, because there's always pros and cons of any system which you look for. And currently the thing is, we have a pretty healthy ecosystem. We have good blocks being produced. Let me see if I can load the EOS Network Monitor or blocks. I think EOS Network Monitor is a good tool. And if we can get that, it's really working very well. Like if we have already produced millions and millions of blocks, and there are hardly any issues being observed. So 11 million blocks have been produced. We have made to almost 4,000 transactions per second at the peak, which is a big number if you compare it with any other blockchain out there. Same thing for blocktivity. I think let's look at what is our sustaining rate. So while I'm waiting for that to load, so look at this. We have 160 users that are connected right now. We have 4,000 transactions per second as a peak. Which other blockchain can give you that? So why do you want to start changing everything before even giving it a chance and fixing the system right now? The very easy thing to fix right now is if we more and more people vote and get the best performing block producer in terms of tools, in terms of how they are helping the ecosystem, and that will be the best way. And let's look at the blocktivity, and we are still on the top. I think the activity has gone down a little, but the average over 7 days is still good, and we are still holding the record for the maximum number of transactions. I don't think anybody is even coming close to beating this anytime in near future. And this is only with less than 1% of network utilization. So that is something you need to understand. All right, so what else is happening, guys? So I have another 2 minutes finally, and we will call it a day for now. What are the questions? All my tokens have remained staked. Nothing has shaken my faith. Okay, great. I think that's a great comment. I think a lot of people are really believe in EOS, and I don't think there is anything which is going to shake them. But I think a lot of people are still selling. I see that the exchanges are still seeing a lot of volumes, sell volumes. So I would say this is really the worst time to sell either Bitcoin or EOS. That's the only thing I can say. But of course, it's all depends on your personal situation. Not many people can take the losses when we are still seeing a lot of losses piling up here. What else, guys? So nothing else in terms of questions. So let me just go. I think there's one more thing I saw. Is there any news about EOS exchange? I think there are a lot of exchanges which are already started. We did cover some of the decentralized exchanges, like we have DEX EOS. There are a lot of other exchanges which are already up and running. So we also know that Block.one is coming up with a exchange, which is a decentralized exchange. So a lot of exchanges are coming up. I heard about a couple more, which I don't remember the names right now. But and of course, EOS Phoenix. I thanks somebody just wrote it, and EOS Phoenix is very. I heard somebody just saying that they saw a demo of EOS Phoenix on Twitter. So a lot of progress is happening. Remember, EOS is only maybe about 2 months old right now, so maybe 3 months now. But I think so. Don't be like impatient. I think we are only not even a 3 months old blockchain. We are hitting new records, and a lot of apps are coming, but it takes time for quality products to be built. So you need to always look at, like, my goal is I would review at the end of the year by December. If we don't have some quality applications running, then I will start questioning EOS, not now. So that's my view. All right, guys. So I think this was just a quick show because I really love interacting and doing these live shows, and I was out traveling, could not do these. So wanted to put something together quickly, but let me check with my team on what all other things we are looking at right now. They usually collect a lot of information for me to review, and we will do more videos very soon. And hopefully we will have much more regular updates in the next few days so that we get caught up on all the things that are happening in EOS. Thanks again for joining and for asking questions, because it's a great feeling when we can interact and answer the questions live. This is something which really keeps me going, because while we keep posting videos and we get a lot of comments on YouTube, we always, it's much easier when we can discuss live and we can have a conversation. So thanks once again. And as I had promised a few videos back, we are soon going to launch some meetups and some other forms of interaction. We already did a Telegram channel. So please, if you are still interested in that, click this link on our YouTube channel. You can join us, or even on our website. I think we have links for the Telegram. So do click on these links to join our Facebook and Telegram channels, and we can have much more interaction beyond these videos. Because I want this community, Investing with the Difference, our focus is to have a learned community where people can talk to each other and make some good decisions and even get motivated. Maybe I want people who have never developed apps to come out and start developing apps for EOS. I want people to participate more in the in block producers selection, in referendums in future. So those kind of things we are really trying to promote. Our goal is to have more and more educated people, not just speculators, when it comes to EOS. And in general, our goal is to have people understand the impact that blockchain is creating, and even not missing out on this boom, which we strongly believe Bitcoin is going to see very soon. So please invest with something which you can lose. So don't consider this a financial advice, but learn and make your own decisions. That's what I would say. We are not here to give you advice to invest. We are here to make you help understand what is happening and how to make sense of the information around. Thank you once again. and we will soon talk to you again and post more videos. Thanks. Bye-bye.